All you need is love, right? And now you're going to have those songs stuck in your head for the rest of this message time. So good luck with that. All you need is love. Love is a many thing. Love lifts us up where we belong. Love is so talked about in our world, in our culture, so adored, so praised. The romanticism is the breath that we breathe, and creativity and wonder. Love is what brings us to life. That's what the Lutheran Church of Australia's motto is, where love comes to life. But have we spent time to think about what this means, what love means? And I thought we'd spend these next 4 weeks, thinking about that, because we can say, I love my spouse, I love my church, but we also say, I love board games, I love pizza. Does it mean the same thing that I love pizza as much as I love Kirby? Love is a powerful thing, but this word love gets used so easily and so quickly that sometimes I think we lose its meaning and purpose in the context. And so we want to focus on how important love is in our relationships. Love for our family, love for our friends, for our spouse, and most importantly, the love of God that gives us life. And so, a man named C.S. Lewis, many years ago, put together a series called The Four Loves. In fact, it was originally a radio broadcast in which he narrated how he sees the four loves that we have in this world. And we're going to go through those four loves. There's Storge love, which is affection or love of family. There's philia love, which is that friendship love. There's eros, which is that romantic or spouse love. And finally, there's agape love, which is charity or unconditional love, aka the love of God. We're going to spend some time thinking about these. In opening this up from C.S. Lewis, we'll get to see how we love and how our church can love and bring love to life in the LCA. So we're starting with Storge love, right? From the four loves. And these loves are so important, all of them. And this is why. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all possesses to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. And so you can see how important it is that we understand love. We can't do any of our charity work, our care for people, our faith and commitment. It means nothing if we don't love. And so we better understand what love means. And so, as I said, here's a storge love, which is natural or instinctual affection as of a parent for a child. Yes, the primary vehicle to understand this is as parent to child, as family love, but we'll talk about it in other contexts that we have in our world. Perhaps it's at work, perhaps it's an apprenticeship relationship, right? There's all sorts of different places that you can have this storge love as opposed to friendship love, philia love, all right? We'll talk about that next week, but here we're talking about family love. And here we can see mother nursing a child, siblings living in the same room, coworkers in the office, and you sitting next to each other here in church is also a model. And thank you, honey, for leading perfectly into that. And I want you to have that model in the back of your head because we'll return to it at the end. But as we go, I think you'll see how a church is that family. So here's one of the more critical aspects that I think that jumped out as I listened to C.S. Lewis talk about storge love is that we don't choose those people. You don't get to choose your kids. Sounds funny, right? You don't get to choose your kids. You don't get to choose your parents. You don't get to choose your siblings. They're your family, whether you like it or not, right? We don't get to choose them. We have to love them. But here's the thing, too. This means that anyone and everyone can be loved this way. Everyone has a mother and a father. Everybody has this. Now, that relationship may not go the way you plan, and there are failures all along the way, and we'll get to that. But the idea is that no matter how difficult you might be as a child, you still have a mother who nursed you and loved you as that infant. And no matter how much you run away from them, your parents still have that love. And it's a easy and comfortable love. And what I mean by that, there's no big heartfelt emotions like eros, like romantic love, where you feel it in your gut. And when they walk into the room, it's a slow burn kind of love. In fact, there's rarely ever a starting point to this, except for maybe childbirth, but that doesn't start out well either. That love usually is something you look back and go, oh my goodness, I do love them. And I never realized it. Because it's a comfortable love. It's not a moment, a flash, an instant, like your friendship. When you first met your best friend, you know that moment. When you first met your spouse, you know that moment. Here it's easy and comfortable. It comes and we don't even realize it. But it still does have deep emotions. It certainly has deep emotions, and we feel those at different times in our lives. We experience this when things happen to that person. We feel that grief when they die. Deep emotions can still come out of this family love. The desire of good for them can be so strong as a parent for child. The pain when they're absent or the anxiety when they're in danger. Parents, it's those sleepless nights as you're waiting for your child to return home. It's wondering where they are, how they're going. When you send kids off to camp, wondering how they're going. This love is still strong and still has deep emotions to it. And this family love, as they say, blood is thicker than water. It runs deep. It is a strong bond. You know families that live this kind of life, don't you? That families where they're so inseparable. And they do everything together. Even as they add partners and have children, that family still stays together and is so intertwined into their lives. They live just down the street from each other. Never could they think about leaving that street or that city to go on adventure. No, that family is the priority, and they will always stay together. And they're maybe overly involved with each other, some might say. But for this reason and for many others, it can become an idol, this type of love, this family love. You can start to think that that's the thing that brings you to life. That love as a family is what fills your sails and gives you life each and every day. Jesus warns us against this. In fact, he says in Luke, if anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. Jesus is giving us this warning that you can't put this family love ahead of God. as important as our family is and as strong as that bond is, it cannot supersede God and his love for you. It doesn't bring you to life. And of course, there are times when this family love does fail and doesn't work out. And I'm sure you are all too aware of this in your families and in your relationships. It's something that you can't force. We can't make our children love us back, can we? We can't force it. And if you do, you'll often break it. You can't only love them on your terms as a parent, can you? Can't love them only the way you want to love them, disrespecting their individuality and their life and where their life is going. You must love them in the way they want to go. And similarly, it's a love that then lets them go. This storge love needs to understand that that proximity which birthed this love, that living under one house together, isn't going to last forever. So it must let them go. And that can be really hard, can't it, parents? I can't even imagine that yet. I'm still in that great storge love building period. But for those parents who have had to send those children out and let them find their own way in life can be really hard. And as parents, you might want to hold on to them. You might play games and tactics to make them feel guilty, to return the love and the proximity that you so long for and desire. It's the teenage girl who fights back at her mom for all the ways the mom is just trying to love her. Why can't she understand? This family love can go wrong because it's born out of selfishness. It's still ultimately a love that wants a response. Storge love is not unconditional. It is still conditional. Moms and dads, we still want that love back, don't we? We still want them to come home. We still want them to call us when big, important things happen in their lives. This love is still selfish. And when we don't get what we want, we get jealous, we get angry, we take it out on other people, we play the games. And so, if all you need is love, storge love will not satisfy. Storge love will not fill our sails and send us on our way and give us life. Storge love will fail. But storge love, born out of agape love, is something different. Agape love, Christ's love for us, his death, his resurrection, his baptism that brings us into our family of God. Agape love that bears out storge love, the family of God, the church of God. That is something different. Here's how Paul puts it in Ephesians. As a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep up the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. These are the things we can do as the family of God, what Paul compels us to do as the family of God, the storge love within the church. To keep the unity, to bear with, to be gentle and humble. But if we think that is first, and that is the source, then we're missing out, because the next verse, he reminds us where we get it from. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. This is one love, agape love that bears storge love here in the church, one church. It's one Lord who is Christ, our head, who is the bridegroom who sacrificed all for us, his bride, his beautiful bride, his church. That's one faith that is given to us, not earned, not achieved, no merit to it, but Christ alone. It's one baptism that is thicker than blood. It is holy water that marks us as a child of God and gives us a family forever. And it's one God and one Father of that family who calls us into it. So this is Storge love in the church. We step outside of our comfort zones and our habits, our normalities, and we love each other. Think about the people here. Would you choose them? We're a bit of misfits, strange people, different generations. Sometimes we get cranky. Sometimes we get upset and we get fights. We have fights within our own church. We say things we wish we didn't. We make decisions that aren't so good all the time. Yet we're a family. We didn't choose each other, yet here we are next to each other, worshiping a God who loves us unconditionally. And anyone can be loved. Anyone can be a part of this family. For it is for everyone. This love, this agape love born in the church as storge love, is all we need. The love of God. Amen. Amen.